As the season begins, how is the Clark's bond? How are people handling her being, MIA?
How have you spoken to Jason yet?
No.
I probably shouldn't say anything. I shouldn't say anything. I'll get fired, guys. I like my job.
You won't tell him.
I don't know. I think, yeah, I'd rather not say anything, actually. Yeah. I just don't want to get into trouble, and I know I will. So yeah, it sucks. I'm sorry. Yes.
Since the show started, the framework has altered quite a bit. Can you maybe talk about kind of the altered framework and how it continues to alter going into this season?
Well, this season, we're definitely going into a lot more sci-fi stuff. And whether, you're going to learn about how the world became the way it did, which is very exciting. Like, I can't wait to see how he's going to tell that story. But it also means I probably won't be doing much work because Bellamy wasn't alive then. So that's kind of good. I can relax. But yeah, I think that they're going to try and like, I asked Jason what would the theme be of this year, and it's kind of about rebuilding, and so this year I think there's going to be a lot more like homebody stuff, decorating rooms, all that kind of thing, really settling into the house. I don't know. Yeah.
How do you think Bellamy has changed in the 2 seasons we've had so far?
Well, I think in the second season, Bellamy spent a lot of the time trying to redeem himself and forgive himself for being responsible for killing all those people in episode 5 of season 1. Bellamy was from Sector 17, and all those people that did kill or die or self-sacrifice were people he would have known. And it was a mistake, it was a selfish thing that he did, to throw out that radio that caused all those problems. So I think that from that point on, for the end of season 1, he was trying to just do his best to protect the 100. And then, for him to go in as, like on a suicide mission to Mount Weather was the only way he could feel like he could repay the debt. So, I think he's pretty happy that he's saved everyone, but, it came at a massive cost to have to sacrifice everyone in Mount Weather who also helped him. There were families that he knew that were hiding his friends. Like, Clark didn't really know these people, but Bellamy did. And so, yeah, I guess he's just going to have to try and move on from that. I mean, how do you move on from having 1,000 dead people under your belt? Like, yeah. But yeah, I think that second season he was just very self-sacrificing and willing to do that. Not without reason, but to a point where it was probably a little extreme. But he luckily got out of there. Yeah.
How is his relationship with Octavia now? They've both been through so much.
Yeah, I think that they're on the same page. I think that they'll always have those rifts. I think, the interesting thing for me is is where Bellamy or how Bellamy feels about the Grounders, because and also Octavia. Even though we kind of left on peaceful-ish terms, they kind of screwed us over pretty good. So that I think will be interesting. With Lincoln back in the camp as well, that relationship with Bellamy and Lincoln, I think, he left him for dead to take drugs. So it's kind of like, maybe we should talk about this, But yeah, I think that's going to be the interesting thing. Our Bellamy's feelings towards the Grounders and Octavia's. So yeah, they'll always be fighting, but they love each other. He doesn't need to protect her anymore, though. Definitely not.
Given his struggle, given his kind of journey towards redemption, let's call it, and that relationship with Octavia, do you feel like as a man, his fate was sealed the day we met him, or do you think the actions of him as a younger man essentially have mapped out,
have tarred him a bit, or
all those things are inescapable? There is an inescapable.
I think that it's a trait in him that that he had. I don't think it's completely gone. There's a streak in him that still is probably capable of doing those very selfish things. I mean, I think that they're still in there. I'd like to see more of them because I like playing in that kind of grey area. And season 2 is very much just a good guy. So in season 3, I'd like for that to come back and that conflict to be present. So yeah, I think he's still very capable of doing some idiotic things, which is exciting for me. Yeah.
As sort of a natural leader, I think in season 3, in Java, with sort of the adults now being more in charge, is he gonna have leadership?
I don't like. I find it like, why would the adults be in charge? I mean, clearly you've got these kids that have run the thing. They've gone and like destroyed an entire race of people, and that yet you're going to be like, okay, you guys can still run it. You're like, your track record's not great. I think that he will take on a more leadership role, but it's an interesting thing that will develop hopefully as the show goes along, to see where he ends up standing and what position he takes, politically and in that leadership kind of role. So yeah.
Do you believe in his salvation? Do you think ultimately at the end of his story has to be a positive one?
Maybe it's just me, like him being a bit sad and lonely, but I would like to see him just kind of go off on his own. Like, I don't think he believes in that, a happy ending, having his mother be killed and his sister, live under the floor. It's been a pretty bleak life the entire time. Some of the other kids on the ark had a good life, like Clark, but Bellamy and Octavia never had a good life. The Blakes, just had to get by, and it was never good. I mean, his mother was giving out sexual favors so he could get into the cadets. His sister was living under the floor. So I don't think he believes in happy endings. He reads like Greek mythology, and a lot of them are pretty tragic. So I don't think that he feels that that's the way he's going to go. Probably go down in a blaze of glory, but not happily. Yeah.
Will we finally see you and Clark maybe make up the power couple?
I don't know about that. Yeah, I think that before any of that happens, they definitely got to talk about how she abandoned him. But we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. I don't actually know. Yeah.
Is there anyone you're hoping to work with this season?
I'm hoping to work a bit more with Chris Larkin. He's a fantastic actor, and I'd like to, get to, bounce around with him a bit more. Love working with Richard and Ian. I mean, everyone is great, but I don't get much chance to work with these people anymore. Richard and I used to work together so much, and I really enjoyed that dynamic. So hopefully I'll get to see him this year. But I don't know. It's like Isaiah. I see him like maybe once each season, and then we finish, and I never see him again. So yeah.